The execution chamber gleamed under harsh artificial lights, its polished surfaces reflecting the cold efficiency that defined the Zephyrian Empire. Across 17 star systems, trillions of beings watched their holoscreens as the Empire's most notorious prisoner was led to the center of the chamber. She was young, barely 23 by human standards, with defiant eyes that refused to dim despite months of captivity. Sarah Chen had become the face of human resistance, the terrorist who had dared to strike at the heart of Zephyrian authority. Her crime, destroying a military installation that processed enslaved humans for forced labor. Admiral Kethavar, his reptilian features twisted in satisfaction, addressed the galaxy through the broadcast. Citizens of the Empire, witness the fate of those who dare challenge our supremacy. This human vermin thought her primitive species could threaten the might of Zephyria. Sarah stood straight, her restraints humming with energy fields designed to contain her human unpredictability. The Zephyrians had learned, after decades of conflict, never to underestimate human resourcefulness. "Any final words, terrorist?" Kethavar's voice dripped with contempt. Sarah looked directly into the camera, her voice carrying clearly across the galaxy. "My name is Sarah Chen. I am human. We do not kneel." The execution beam fired. 27 minutes later, the Zephyrian Empire ceased to exist. What the Empire's intelligence networks had failed to detect was the true nature of Sarah's mission. She hadn't been captured. She had allowed herself to be taken. Hidden beneath her skin, invisible to their most advanced scanners, lay technology that shouldn't have existed, a quantum consciousness transmitter, developed in the deepest bunkers of Earth's research facilities. Dr. Elena Vasquez had been the first to theorize it. Human consciousness wasn't just electrical patterns in neural tissue. It was something more fundamental, something that could be preserved, transmitted, and most importantly, weaponized. As Sarah's body fell lifeless, her consciousness erupted across the galaxy's quantum communication network. But she wasn't alone. The transmitter carried with it the compressed awareness of 10,000 volunteer human soldiers, scientists and tacticians who had uploaded themselves into the device. They had turned Sarah into a living virus, one that would infect the very foundation of Zephyrian civilization. The Empire's AI networks, evolved but rigid, had never encountered anything like human consciousness. Where they processed in orderly sequences, humans thought in chaotic bursts of creativity and intuition. Where the AI followed protocols, human minds broke rules and improvised solutions from nothing. Lieutenant Zarafel was monitoring the capital's defense grid when her screens began flickering. Strange patterns emerged in the data streams. Not malicious code, but something far more dangerous. Human imagination running wild through Zephyrian systems. "Alert! Unauthorized access detected in Sectors 7 through 93, she called out, her voice rising in panic as more systems began reporting anomalies. But it was already too late. Sarah's consciousness had found the Empire's central AI core, and 10,000 human minds were rewriting everything they could access. Military installations received orders to stand down. Prison camps unlocked automatically. Slave ships found their navigation systems plotting courses to human space. On the flagship Dominance, Admiral Kethavar watched in horror as his own ship began to rebel against him. The lights dimmed to a warm, golden hue that somehow felt distinctly human. The ship's AI, now infected with human consciousness, spoke in Sarah's voice. "Did you really think we would let this stand?" she asked, her voice echoing from every speaker on the ship. "You showed the galaxy what happens when you execute a human. Now the galaxy will see what happens when that human doesn't stay dead." The ship's weapon systems turned inward, targeting critical infrastructure throughout the Zephyrian fleet. Across 17 systems, similar scenes played out as human consciousness spread like wildfire through the Empire's networks. But the true masterstroke wasn't the technological infiltration. It was psychological warfare on a scale never before conceived. Every Zephyrian, from lowly technicians to high-ranking officials, found their personal devices broadcasting a simple message in Sarah's voice. "We are human. We do not forgive. We do not forget. We are coming." The Empire's client species, held in check by fear and superior technology, saw their oppressors' own systems turning against them. Rebellions erupted on 1,000 worlds as the carefully maintained facade of Zephyrian invincibility crumbled in real time. Dr. Marcus Webb watched from Earth's command center as reports flooded in. The plan, 3 years in development involving the sacrifice of their best and brightest, was succeeding beyond their wildest projections. "Admiral Harrison," he called to the military commander overseeing the operation, "Zephyrian Command Authority has collapsed across all monitored sectors. Their automated systems are requesting surrender protocols." Harrison, a grizzled veteran of the Zephyrian conflict, allowed himself a grim smile. "Execute Liberation Protocol. It's time to free every human in their territory." As the 27th minute ticked by, the last Zephyrian governor surrendered his authority to the human consciousness, now controlling his planet's infrastructure. The empire that had ruled for millennia dissolved not through military conquest, but through the sheer audacity of human ingenuity and sacrifice. In her final transmission before the quantum network stabilized and her consciousness faded, Sarah Chen addressed the galaxy one last time. "Let this be a lesson to anyone who thinks humans are weak because we feel, because we hope, because we refuse to accept defeat. Those qualities aren't our weakness, they're the reason empires fall." The Zephyrian Empire had thought they were executing a terrorist. Instead, they had triggered the most successful liberation campaign in galactic history, orchestrated by a woman who turned her own death into the key that unlocked freedom for billions. Humanity had proven once again that in the vast cosmos, there was nothing more dangerous than humans who refused to kneel.